Hello, this is Diablo68 from Gaming Existence, and this is a help and tips guide. This video is on the worker placement board game Lords of Waterdeep, and it's how to convert this, what's inside the box, into actually setting up your first game. So let's have a look. Whilst you are taking all of the components out of the box, I recommend you get each player to pick a colour and then take the component parts of that colour. So everything which is sort of a green token for the green player, they would take, and exactly the same for all of the other players. This will just get them to get their little section of the board set up, whilst you get all of your components out and put in the correct places. The setup for Lords of Waterdeep is quite quick, and that is helped by the fact there aren't many components that you need to keep an eye on. The board also helps you in the fact that if you go in here, you can actually see, it tells you where different stacks of cards need to go. For example, here you can see the building stack, intrigue cards, and this makes things a lot easier as you go along. You would get all of your components, so we'll start off with the quest deck, take the quest deck, shuffle it a few times, and then this can be placed where the quest deck goes here. You would do the same for the intrigue deck, shuffle and place this on the intrigue cards, and the same for the building tiles. Pick these up, place them down, and that is the first part of Lords of Waterdeep setup. Some of the remaining components that we have are the actual resources that you gather and collect as you go through the game. So these are the coloured cubes which represent different things that you would need to collect and spend, and then you have the money over here as well. These are then represented on the board, so areas where you can take money or get different cubes as well. What I normally do when I play the game is just simply place a selection of these cubes in each sort of relevant section. That's where you get the black cubes from. I place them there, and going around doing the same with all of the other coloured cubes, just so that they're nice and easy, accessible as you're playing the game. And we do this also for the gold, placing it on the board where the majority of the time you'll be getting the gold and adding it to your resource pool. Some of the final components for this setup, and that is the fact if we look down here, we have sort of the round markers. Now this represents what turn you're on and how many rounds are left. All you need to do is place 3 victory point gems on each of these numbers. So we pick up these gems, stack them so we have a stack of 3, and then we'd place them on each of these numbers here, just like so. Now that the board is set up, we can start with sort of the player setup to actually get the game rolling. Shuffle the Lord deck and deal 1 face down to each player. This will be their Lord for the game, and give them sort of their secret sort of victory condition for how they can win the game. These are normally sort of slipped in underneath where you have here. They slip underneath where you have your Lord card. Each player is dealt 2 intrigue cards, and these are dealt face down, kept secret from everyone else. They will also be dealt face up 2 quest cards. So everyone will end up with 2 face up quest cards that everyone can see, and 2 face down intrigue cards which are kept secret. Randomly determine who will be first, and they are given the first player marker here, represented by this. The player who starts the game starts with 4 gold in their tavern, and then each subsequent person starts with 1 extra gold, 5, 6, 7. There's just a few last things to do for the board, and then we'll be ready to start the first turn, and that is to deal 4 face-up quest cards from the quest deck into Cliffwatch Inn, placing them on the 4 relevant sections here. If we then come down to the building section, and from the building stack just take 3 tiles and put them face up. These are the starting tiles that start in play from the Builder's Hall. If we look down here, later on in the game, there will be an additional worker that is unlocked. To work out how many workers that you're supposed to start with, if you consult the rulebook, you can see how many players equals how many agents we have. So for example, in this, what we're looking at is for 4 players, which means each player will have 2 agents. These are the agents that you actually start with in your tavern, so that means the remaining agents would go into this section here, showing that they would be unlocked later on. The last thing that needs to happen before the game can start is everyone needs to place their scoring token on the 0 point mark around the outside of the board, and now the game is ready to start. I hope you enjoyed this video for how to set up your first game of Lords of Waterdeep. Keep an eye out on my other videos, as I'll be doing one for how to explain the rules to new people.